can't escape like what she's been around. She's gonna need a lot of therapy to heal. What kind of adult will Blue Ivy grow up to be? What's up, my beautiful soul family? How's everybody feeling today? We talked and we've done readings on this channel about Blue Ivy and her relationship with Jay-Z and Beyoncé, or allegedly lack there is. Some of you guys wanted to know what kind of an adult Blue Ivy will become living with such allegedly toxic parents. So that's what I thought today in this reading. This is what we're going to focus on. What kind of adult is Blue Ivy going to grow up to be? Now, y'all know, of course, before I start this reading, I need to put out my disclaimer. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Everything I state in this video is just my interpretation of the cards. Nothing I state in this video has been proven to be fact as of now. So now that we done got that disclaimer out the way, I'm going to shuffle these cards and we're going to look into what kind of an adult is Blue Ivy going to grow into. Alright, so I was shuffling the cards and the Eight of Pentacles came up. I feel like she'll be hardworking and committed to her career. You know what I mean? Whatever career she decides to take. I'll just pull some more cards from here. Yeah, she'll be rich and prosperous. But she's gonna be the type that makes poor or hasty decisions. Let's see. I feel like she's gonna be a very quarrelsome. Well, I'm not gonna say a quarrelsome person, but she has a lot of like internal conflict. She has a lot of demons she'll have to exercise. You know what I mean? We're talking about Blue Ivy. What kind of an adult will Blue Ivy grow up to be? She's gonna grow up to be feel bitter and cynical of the world. You know what I mean? She's gonna be very. I feel like she's gonna be very smart, but smart in like a use her intelligence to be manipulative and wicked. You know what I mean? She gets a lot of it from her mother. She's learning a lot of those bad traits from her mother. You know what I mean? Because of how her mother is. I feel like she's gonna be the type that gossip about people, have to keep up appearances, have confusion regarding her sexuality. She might grow up bisexual. Let me see here. She's gonna need a lot of therapy to heal, but I feel like she's gonna have arrested development. You know what I mean? Because of the severe abuse she's dealt with as a young girl. And I feel like she's going to be the type, a little bit narcissistic. You know what I mean? I feel like, because I feel like she's going to be the type that expect everybody to love her, but she ain't going to give love back because she wasn't adequately loved as a child. You know what I mean? I feel like she's going to be really pessimistic. She's going to have issues with forming relationships. You know what I mean? Especially with men. Because the men that she's going to get is going to be like probably cheaters and not good. But she's going to be the type that can't control her emotions anyway. You know what I mean? I feel like she's going to be the type that feels like she's dominated by everybody. And she's probably going to be the kind of man that she's going to get the type that control her like her father do her mother. It's like she doesn't have very few options. She can't escape like what she's been around. As bad as she wants to, she can't escape what she's been around, so she's going to basically, I feel like, become a product of her environment. She is filled with a lot of emotional turmoil, a lot of pain, you know what I mean, a lot of demons, a lot of things that's going on with Blue Ivy, you know what I mean. You know what I mean, allegedly, what I'm seeing so far in the cards, I feel like she's going to grow up a confused individual that can't control her emotions, or at least have a lot of emotional issues going on. This is what I'm seeing so far, allegedly. You know what I mean? I feel like she's going to be the type that's going to be in like polygamous arrangements, or at least have multiple lovers. Let me see here. Yeah, she has a lot of hurt and pain from her dad. You know what I mean? Emotional pain from her dad. How he always overlooked her, how he was always apathetic towards her. They didn't have a good relationship. And Blue Ivy's depressed. I feel like Blue Ivy suffers from depression. She does. She needs counseling. She sees the world in a very negative view because of her depression. And I feel like she has PTSD as well. I'm scared she may be the type that be into self-deletion, or at least try to self-delete, if you guys get what I'm saying. She, you know what I mean? She's a sensitive soul, but she's always been made to feel like, you know what I mean, she was worthless by her parents. And like I said, she has a lot of emotional turmoil. I feel like she's going to be the type that use sex as like a coping mechanism. You know what I mean? She's going to have a lot of reckless decisions because her innocence was robbed so quickly as a child. You know what I mean? And she suffered from forms of child abuse. So I feel like she's going to have a lot of like dark thoughts, a lot of evil thoughts in her head. I feel like she's going to follow along with her parents, especially with that Illuminati stuff. You know what I mean? She's going to be part of the secret order too. It's just what her family does, you know what I mean? So she's going to be the type that's like a drifter, wandering aimlessly, not really realizing what she wants out of life, but doing what others want. You know what I mean? I feel like she's going to be the type that might maybe cause drama and trouble like her mother does, allegedly. You know what I mean? Like, don't care who she has to hurt, harm in order to get, you know what I mean, what she wants, because this is the behavior she's learned. This is the people she's been around. She might even end up practicing dark magic and being in an occult as well. This is what I'm seeing. You know what I mean? Like I said, Blue Ivy has suffered from the abuse. She's been abused. She's been subjected to child abuse and stuff. Let's see here. Now here's the thing. She wants to get away from all of this. She wants to just take that time out at least and not be a part of the spotlight. You know what I mean? But she's going to be highly dependent, you know what I mean, on her parents and the legacy for when it comes to money and stuff like that. She's going to need extensive therapy. She really is, because she has a lot of things going on in her head. You know what I mean? She always feels like she has to be on guard. Inside, she feels ruined. This is the type of adult she's going to be. You know what I mean? The type that doesn't progress anywhere. You know what I mean? She wants to move forward, but doesn't progress emotionally much. I feel like, too, you know what I mean? It's always going to be a part of her that's going to be still a child. You know, when you have arrested development, you end up, there's a part of you that stays stuck at the age that you went through the trauma as. You know what I mean? Allegedly. So I see her becoming basically out for money, apathetic and insensitive to people, because this is what's been done to her. Maybe having a drinking problem. She may become mean-spirited too, and be the type that just overworks herself and is ambitious because that's what her father wants. You know, this is what her father pushes. She's also going to be the type that just wants to be alone because she's going to feel unstable inside and have self-esteem issues. So I think she's going to be, I think she's happier just being off to herself. Like I said, allegedly, what I'm seeing in the cards. Wow, this is sad, man. Poor Blue. She's also going to be very sneaky. She's going to sneakily do stuff, you know what I mean, be manipulative, be cunning, you know what I mean, but pretend to be somebody's friend, but really, you know, is bringing them down because she's emotionally jacked up. She's full of a lot of fear and anxiety. She's going to be the type, like I said, has PTSD and constantly have flashbacks of her past. It's going to be she's going to be the type that struggle with a lot of things. So I'm out of cards, so I'm going to end the reading right there. But tell me what you guys think. Do you guys think that Blue Ivy is going to grow up a very depressed and unhappy adult? You know what I mean? And learn a lot of toxic behavior from her parents because this is what she grew up around? Please leave me a comment down below letting me know what you guys think. Thank you, my beautiful soul family, for tuning in. I'll see you guys in the next reading. You have a good one, my babies. Love you.